What's up, everybody? It's your favorite DJ's favorite nerd. Today we are looking at the MMC Ocular Max remix line of Riot. And what's this guy's name? Furor. And this is them in tape mode. I'm going to show the transformation of one. It's on loan to me from Robert D, a good friend. Mine hasn't arrived yet, so he went ahead and sent it to me so I could get it out to you guys, which is nice. Now, they come with a fair amount of accessories for being what they are, but I do want to talk about the packaging first. I never talk about packaging, but this is one exception. This is my favorite Transformer packaging to date. I've said it every time, but I'm going to say it this time too. It's like a tape. You kids may not know what this is, but it used to be what it was all about. And it has the insert, and then the insert has the instructions, and I love that so much. And they actually come with a fair bit of accessories. And what's interesting is when I first looked at these and I went to go get familiar a bit, I got them out of the box and I was like, it just sucks because they're never gonna look like Rumble and Frenzy because they don't have all those tape accents throughout to transfer over into the robot mode to make the robot mode look quote unquote cartoon accurate. And they included stickers for each set. But now that I'm looking at it, let me see here. Because I didn't take them out of the bag. It seems like they didn't give an accurate Frenzy set. Is that right? Because Frenzy's stickers didn't look like this, did it? I guess it did. It just had like that red stripe going through it. There's no red stripe on this, but small potatoes. And honestly, that's just one of many accessories they come with. So let's go ahead and look at those. Each come with an additional head. Now the heads are detailed just fine, and we'll talk about that when we get to robot mode. If I was to be critical, the sculpt is awfully soft. There's some paint issues here on this visor as well, going outside the lines. The Rumble one looks much better. But if you look at the sculpt of the lips, the sculpting is a little soft. Not the biggest deal in the world, but something I wanted to mention. They each come with a display base. The display base is painted very well, with these black lines done throughout the cracks in the concrete, or the ground rather. Very G1-esque, and two places for the feet to fit firmly. And we need that because I'm guessing because of the pile drivers. And there are these little notches there, and they go in the heel of the foot to keep him secure. Each come with a set of pile drivers, so 2 each. And they are mainly red plastic and black plastic. And of course you guys have all seen by now, but we'll go ahead and take a look at them. And I'm sure you've seen this by now, but in case you haven't, put the arms out to the side, bend at the lower joint, so the joint distal from his chest, and close down the hand there. Open this and flip this piece around. This slips up where the bicep is. This comes around and secures it in place. And then you just take him and put him in a position, and you can press these buttons on this side here. And now he's creating an earthquake. Which is cool. So, it's a gimmick thing, but I think a lot of people have always wanted this. I'm not really one of those people, but I think they would have been doing themselves a disservice not doing it. I think that no one really expected that, and I think it's pretty smart. And then giving you the base and everything is pretty thoughtful. So I don't really have a whole lot of complaints about this. I think it's a classy move, honestly. I think it's a clever, classy move. Now, of course, they also come with their kind of signature blasters. If you sort of open up here and pull this out, and here, and pull this out. And they're done well enough. You got the silver finish on them. This feels like die cast to me. It's a little loose here, but it'll hold the position, which ultimately is the only thing I care about. And then the wing flips, and then you have this handle that flips around so that it can be held. Now, I think that Roberts ended up. Oh yeah, okay, he's good. So yeah, pretty cool. And he can hold those with no problem. And they can also attach via these holes in his back for that look. So then you get the tapes. And we'll start with Rumble. And that is this one, ladies and gents. And it looks pretty much like a train wreck. I mean, it looks like the shape of a tape. This is something that I'm very forgiving of, because as long as it performs the function and ends up looking like the robot and resembles the shape of a tape, that's kind of what I want ultimately. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place. If they detail these tapes out, you know, then we have problems in robot mode with it looking kind of accurate. Same with Frenzy. This one translates maybe a bit better, but still leaves an awful lot to be desired. I could make the argument that they should have gone ahead for the price point and painted, you know, tampoed the paint on for the tape detailings. And I don't think it would have bothered me, but I think that ultimately this is the right choice because it gives you the freedom. Now, stickers are an easy way out, but at least they included them. So I'm willing to forgive that for what you get here. All right, so I already took the weapons out, but you want to disconnect the foot from the arm and bring the legs down and extend the legs here. Now the legs are easy. So let's get the arms worked out. Now this is pretty easy as well, but there is just a matter of finesse, let's say. So what you have to do is, you see this red tab sticking up? There's a little slot inside that has to go in. In order to do that, open up all of these little pieces here so that you can have the best access to it. And you'll find that you won't have any problem. So this will rotate down and then rotate this whole piece up until it securely tabs in. Flip this piece down in the back and front, and then this piece down and this piece down, and then turn the head. This piece is the back of the arm, so that will help you be oriented. Turn it this way, flip the hand out. Let's not flip the hand out, but just pull the hand out on this little tab. Same for this side. Back and extend and orient. And then now we just have the legs, which is the easy part. So we'll flip these tabs down, the hip skirts, and then let's see. You want to open up this, and let's see here. It's hard to, there. So that's the front, so you can turn that around to the front. These pieces tab in to the back piece here, and then slide forward. And then if you like pinch these two pieces, they'll come out around the front of the calf, which is pretty cool. And then you want to flip. Let's see here. Why is this eating me up? It might just be tight. Let's try this one. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to flip this around, move these pieces to the back, tab them in, and push forward so that all cleans up nicely. And you want to, sorry about that, it's this here and this here. That's how I got 8 up. And then flip this up to the front. So here and here, turn it, flip this up to the front, and then this forms the heel by using a double hinge. And that's him. So I'll clean them both up and we'll take a look at them. So we're gonna go over the articulation and detailings on this guy, and then we'll look at Frenzy and just do the detailings. So the head is on a ball peg, which we should expect. It has a little smirk on his face, and it has a dull sculpt once again for the mouth, but the paint is clean. There's a little white paint there on the forehead, and then there's a metallic red paint on the visor. Head gets up to there, so to speak, down to there, round, confused dog look, no problems. The shoulders, so you have a ball peg here, which gets the arm out to 90 degrees. You can also raise the arm up to here using the circular piece that makes up the spool of the tape. So there's no real limitation in that regard. Now, there is a little tight spot at that angle, you see? So it's hard to get the arm out and, like, you know what I mean? So you can get up, no problem. You can get out, no problem. But the angle between, you're not really going to be able to get that. And that is a bit of a bummer. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbow gets you a great range. Wrist swivel, I think, right? Or maybe not. Fingers on a base pin knuckle. I thought the wrist did swivel. I don't know. I don't want to pull too hard on this thing, but maybe they do not. And then we have, they might though. You might be able to slide that piece all the way, but I feel like I got it all the way forward. I don't know. I'm not going to risk it. We got some paint there around the kind of cuff of his forearm. And it is chipping a bit from where it has to tab in during transformation, so be mindful of that. Let me angle the camera down just a taste. All right. So then we have all of the chest and abdominal area. I will say proportion-wise, he may be a bit long in this space, but I don't think it's a huge deal, just something worth noting. You do get the waist swivel, no problems there. You get an ab crunch all the way over, so that's nice, nothing back. And then you have hip skirts to get out to the sides and out to the front. For universal joints, they get all the way out, all the way back for the full Monty, all the way out to the side for the full Van Damme. No problems. We have nice silver paint on the chest and on the pelvis, so that looks good. And then we have... Man, that shoulder is the only issue I have with this thing, really. And then we have a thigh swivel. You can also do a pretty crazy pelvic thrust, Michael Jackson. And then we have a single hinge knee that gets you 90 degrees, so that works well, no problems there. We have the red, white, and gold paint on the shins, so that looks good. And then we have the ankles that tilt down, an additional toe tilt, which you don't really need. Tilt up, and have a rocker. It's all on a ball peg. So really, I mean, no real issue other than the shoulder, which, man, it's like so close to being able to get it, but you just can't. There he is from the back. So it's really just the shoulder and then, you know, arguably the proportions. Arguably this section here is a little long, but not the biggest deal in the world. And then we have Frenzy. We have the gold paint all done the same, looks good. We have the white and metallic red paint on the face, head, and eyes. That looks good. We have the red paint around the cuff of the arm. Now, because some of this red paint has to go on black, it doesn't work as well, and the chipping is much more significant. So be mindful of that. No wrist swivel here either, so I'm going to say it does not have one, but who knows. If I'm wrong, sorry. Gold paint on the pelvis, red, white, and gold paint on the shin. And then, I can't tell, I feel like this is die cast and might be painted as well. So, pretty much the same detailings, except instead of blue, it's red, instead of silver, it's gold, and then the accents down the shin. Pretty sharp looking figures, though. There they are with the Frenzy and Rumble masterpieces and the G1 Frenzy. I just don't feel like getting my G1 Rumble out. And, like, I much prefer the size of these guys over the masterpieces. Let me show you exactly what I mean. There they are with the other main Decepticon characters from Season 1, where it kind of counts for display purposes, right? And to me, as long as they're shorter than Reflector and the Insecticons, I'm good. And they are. So for me, that works. And these guys are able to have so much more personality and presence in their display than the masterpiece options. Are they too big? Dude, I don't know. I guess. Who cares? They're still the smallest of the bunch, and you're able to get so much more expression out of your shelf and display. So for me, this is infinitely better than this. And if you don't feel that way, that's fine. But for me, this just doesn't do it right. It just doesn't feel right. They just feel too small to me, and always have. I feel like you need a reminder. Look at this, and look at this. Final thoughts wise, let's talk about the negatives. The shoulder articulation on an outward movement is a little hindered from the sculpt of the shoulder block and the chest. Obviously, it doesn't mean you won't be able to get a good pose out of them. You will. It's just something that you will find relatively limiting while you're going to pose them. A wrist swivel would have been nice. And I'm not saying these guys don't 100% have one. I'm just saying I can't get it to work if there is one. And, you know, I hate to say it, but I have to. At this price point, it would have been nice to have a little bit more finish. Paint finish on these guys. Some of that metallic paint finish would have really made these guys pop and come to life. Plenty more positives than negatives though. The sculpt is great. The presence is next to none. It screams Rumble and Frenzy, and it finally feels like you really have a Rumble and Frenzy on your shelf. The transformation is fun and enjoyable. A lot easier to go from tape to bot than it is to go from bot to tape, but still not the worst thing in the world. Articulation works across the board with a few exceptions. The paint where it is applied well. The materials feel great. They've got some great weight to them. The accessories all make sense. And if you were interested in actual working pile drivers, they actually satisfy that need for you, which I think there is a pocket of people since the days of G1 that have always wanted pile drivers to actually work. Now you can make it happen. The only downfall that I have to end with is the price point on these guys. And I'm sure a lot of that comes down to the pile drivers. So that's a cost benefit analysis that you have to make for yourself. I can say mine are en route. After having looked at them, I am 100% satisfied with my purchase, but my kind of mind state is if it's worth having, it's worth buying, and price isn't really the point in regards to price point, if you get what I'm saying. So that's how I feel. Plus, I think the only other option is that if you don't buy these tapes, you have to buy a tape from a guy standing outside of Walmart. Hey man, listen to my mixtape. I don't know if that's true or not. I heard that somewhere. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.